The purpose of this video is to run through a conveyor system which I built as part of an inspection system. It was about 7 years ago now at this stage, and I'm disassembling it at the moment. So I want to make a couple of videos on it. And in this video, I'm going to step through just the PLC based logic behind it. And then I'll probably do another one which is focused very much on kind of like a vision inspection system, which was kind of integrated in with it. So I'll just give a kind of an overview of it first. So in the system, in terms of the automation, there was a camera which kind of sat in kind of like an enclosure in the center here, and then basically there was a small kind of a PLC cabinet which was placed in there, and here you can see there's a VFD, and the PLC was an S7 1200, and it had kind of like standard parts where you would have like say a lockout tagout switch and then like an e-stop and so on. And this was just done as a kind of a simulated demo system. And basically the application then that went with it, there was a kind of a system there where you can see where there's components that would come in on a trolley, and then essentially the components, they would come in on a trolley and they would go into the entry sensor, then they would go into this processing area, this middle sensor here, where something would happen. In this case it was the camera would do an analysis of product, and then basically you would have the output area here, and it worked kind of with an application there that basically said it was either scrap or it was either good or not, and then there was entries, you know what I mean, that would happen, and so on. So what I want to do is I just want to focus on the PLC based logic running kind of in automatic mode. Basically that's kind of what I want to just do right now at this moment. So essentially, the three sensors that I pointed out, they drive the logic in automatic mode, and then there's interactions with a VFD, but I won't go into that. You know what I mean? I won't go into that at this time. So essentially, the key piece here to go through is that the actual the entry when the product is actually put down, that essentially when that kicks off, there's a verification that there isn't anything else in the other two areas, either in the processing area or in the exit area. And then essentially this mode one essentially breaks down, whether the conveyor is in stopped mode or not. And basically mode one is move the conveyor forwards. And I'm using two other variables here as well. One is called process event required. It's just a boolean to say whether actually something is happening in the processing area, whether it's meant to happen or not. And that's essentially it. And then there's kind of like a reset for the exit area. Then when a product actually moves in, actually I should do this in real time. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of reset it, and I'm going to let the code actually execute in real time. Sorry, I'll just go back to that now. So there we go. So the idea, I'll move that box there in just a moment. So the idea is that essentially when we come into the processing area, this ZSC02, that is particularly this guy right here. So essentially an item comes into that area, and then we have to do an actual inspection. And in the actual software for the camera, it's kind of breaking out the logic out. Here we basically have a camera, and the idea would be that there is a service running in an application constantly looking to see whether the actual whether a trigger is required to do an actual analysis. And when that happens, say I'll just go behind me here, I'll just kind of set it off, and I might actually monitor this particular code here in real time. Okay, so we'll just put our item there. There we go. So he's going to move along, and he's going to enter the area right here. So he's after stopping there, and basically we have him, he's through. So now what you'd be expecting then is that the actual C# application will kick off, and it will basically say, well, look, so the actual trigger has occurred and the actual event has occurred, So here I'm just going to force it, and then he'll move on to the exit area. It's actually kind of hard to see because of where we are here. I just have to move the application, move this guy here. Essentially, anyway, he's headed into the exit area itself, and then we can just simply go on, and then we can just do a repeat of that logic. So it will happen over and over and over, and he will await essentially processing until it actually occurs. And this is the simplified way of how I've done it. So I'm expecting that anyone who's watching this video will watch will have read the blog on the conveyor logic and kind of how I broke it out. And this is obviously just the live example. Thank you very much.